Okay, Andy Graham, Hobo Traveler. Mark C. I'm in Dapong. Je suis parle français. Je suis dans Afrique. Je suis dans la ville de Dapong in the nord de Togo, Africa de West. Okay, I'm in West Africa, in the city of Dapong. It's up in the tip of Togo, just before you get to Burkina Faso. It's March 2014, and Mark C. wants to know, which country outside the U.S. did you live the longest? How long? Tough question. I probably lived the longest in Thailand, but I didn't live there. I went in and out, in and out. They only give you a 30-day visa there. But you can live in Thailand up in some of the villages. Like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, you could live in, for $2 a day, you can get a hotel and live in peace and have internet for $1 a day. So I was broke when I first started traveling, and I could live there for cheap. So basically, I went in and out of Thailand because I had a girlfriend there. So I probably lived the longest, but never contiguously. I mean, so maximum was like 3 months probably, and then I would leave, and then I'd go to another country and come back. But I went in and out all the time. Thailand, Bangkok, Thailand is one of the best places to use as a, what do you call it, an airplane port. I can use it as a base. I mean, Germany, Frankfurt would be a good place. New York City would be a good place. LA would be a good place. South America is tough because you got to get back to America, but basically, Peru, Lima, Peru is a big one. Which cities? I mean, Miami's a big one. Brussels, Belgium, Brussels. But I use Thailand as my airport to fly thing, because you can buy one-way tickets anywhere on the planet, almost without thinking about it. Contrary to what you think, this round-trip ticket thing is not a thing. So I flew in and out of Thailand using that as my thing. And I'm still tempted. I go to Thailand, then I fly to Africa. Go to Thailand, then fly to India. Go to Thailand, get all my visas. I can get all my visas from Thailand and then go, and it's cheap. So, but I can live there in air conditioning with Wi-Fi for $10 a night, eat excellent food, and then take off for another place. Okay, so I probably lived the most time in Thailand. I've stayed in Togo probably almost a year of my life, and it's because Togo gave you a year visa. My biggest problem, I get tired of visa runs. So most countries, I mean, even though I'd like to stay in Ghana for longer or whatever country, Cambodia, they just killed it because they gave me a visa that was too short. Mexico, I was in Mexico for almost a year. Mexico, I'll probably never go back to. I consider it. I was so grateful when I went to Guatemala and realized that Latinos could actually be civilized. Mexicans like blow off firecrackers, get drunk, stay drunk for 3 days, and they're really an aggressive, violent culture. And all the countries south of there are not as violent. So I will never go back to Mexico, but it was one of the first places I stayed. I probably was in and out of Acapulco, Tasco, Mexico City, Oaxaca. I went all over Mexico, but I kept going back to Acapulco, Pia de la Cuesta. I was going to build a hostel there. I am so grateful I didn't, because this culture is just beat up. It's violent. Okay, so it's one of the most violent cultures on the planet. That's where Americans go first, right? Skip Mexico and go Guatemala and work your way down through Central and South America. But they like Mexico because they know more about Mexico. But so I lived a long time in Mexico, probably a year. I've lived in Europe about a year. Europe, again, is very difficult, kind of boring after a while. It's very taxing to be in a place where you pay $10 for a bottle of shampoo. It's not paradise, unless you got $1 million. Now, I don't know anybody that's that just loves paying $10 for a thing. And people that love Europe went there for 2 weeks and left. I mean, very few people. But the fantasy of living in another country is very high, right? So, I mean, I want to go live for about 3 months in France so I can speak French better. I lived in Germany for about a month. I've lived in Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona, Spain was really nice. I really liked that place. I lived in Ghent, Belgium for a month. It's okay. The castles of Europe are nice. I lived in Ecuador for almost, I don't know, maybe 6 months, because I would leave and come back to this hotel. I don't know if I live in countries as much as I live in hotels. There are hotels on the planet that are heaven. There's a group of people in that hotel, and I mean, we were in Bolivia, in La Paz, Bolivia, and I stayed at this. I went there twice, hated the place. Somebody recommended a good hotel. I went back and had one of the best times, spent Thanksgiving there with a group of people. The rooms sucked, but it was like $3 a day, and there was like 35 people in there, and we had Thanksgiving dinner, and it was great. It's really about the mix of the number of foreigners, the locals, and whatever. Now, I'm a single guy, so there's countries that are more girl-friendly. Obviously, going to Iran or something like that's going to be talking to a bunch of guys smoking cigarettes and talking about England sports all day. They're going to talk about all the soccer teams or football teams in England, and that's when you know you're sort of like bored to death, because it's such a macho conversation all the time. And I don't know, watching people smoke and pretend to be religious is no fun. How long have I stayed in any country? I stay until I'm tired. Okay, and Africa's tough because it's very tough to find anything perfect. So I always get bored after about 5 months in Africa. I suppose if I had a $500 a day budget, I could find a hotel where everything was relaxing for a month, and then I could go back to the bullshit. I don't really care. The prime directive of travel is to enjoy yourself. And when somebody disagrees on where I'm at, that's stupid. You can't disagree on where I'm at because it's my life. You can say, I would rather be there, but who cares where you'd rather be? There's 253 other countries where I could be, right? I'm exactly where I want to be right now. And I'm going to, in April 13th, I'm going to be in America, and I'm going to be exactly where I want to be. And I will do exactly what makes me happy until I go to the next country. Then the reason why I left it is because I thought I'd be happier in the other place. But I don't really dream about other countries much. I'd really like to go to the DRC. I'd like to go to Afghanistan. I dream about Afghanistan a lot. I dream about the DRC, Congo, or whatever, DRC. I'd like to go on that river through Africa, but I just don't have the money. And I'd love to go to Tokyo on $1,000 a day. My woman in Tokyo. You know that song from, it's too old for you guys. But I'd love to stay in New York City on $1,000 a day. Any of these cities. I'd love to be in Sweden on $500 a day. It's about the money, guys. But paradise is a place where you don't really think about money, and you don't think about violence. I won't go back to the DRC, Dominican Republic, because there's just too much violence. It's an incredibly dangerous place, and I decided even though I like the guys there and there's a huddle there, I won't go back there again because, and I've stayed about 6 months there, but it's just too freaking dangerous. Why would I go to a place where I have to worry about getting killed? Why would I go to a place where I have to worry about some girl coming into my room and deciding that she's going to hold me hostage with the police? This is like Mexico. I won't go back to Mexico because they do the same kind of stuff. They basically just put you between a rock and a hard place and suck cash from you. The DRC and Mexico are the two places that I can say you really should just take off your list. Probably South Africa, take off your list. All the other countries are pretty safe. Massive, corruption is manageable. They only take what they think they can get from you. If you're wearing a Rolex, they're going to get you for a big money. If you're wearing what I got on, they're going to get you for small money. You want to hide in plain sight. You want to look like an average guy. And if you want to be somebody special, that's a personal problem. How long to stay in a place? You stay until you're bored. But most people have responsibilities and jobs and all that stuff, and they can't do that. In a way, most people should just delay their travels until they're ready to retire and hope they don't weigh 500 pounds. Americans are self-sabotaging. It's like they get so fat that they can't walk, and then they can't do anything. Buy a life. Buy 6 months abroad. After you've lived outside the United States, in Central America, South America, go to my list of 100 places to stay on the planet, to hang out, the 100 list. Go to Hobo Traveler, click on the thing, top 100 places to live, and that's your short list. Go stay in one of those places that really gives your fancy for a month, 2 months. Go find another one, do 2 months, until you're outside the United States for 6 months. After you're outside 6 months, a lot of these questions you have won't make any sense at all. But until you've lived outside the United States for 6 months, in one stretch, you won't really globally understand the planet. Learn a language. I think every president of the United States should speak 2 languages and have lived outside the United States for 6 months to be qualified to speak globally about anything. And even then, they don't know diddle. I mean, to understand how the French world thinks about American English world, how the Spanish world, how the German world, all these countries, how they view us, to empathize, you got to get there until you're not in love with them anymore. I mean, you got to stay in with French people until you just don't like to talk to French people. You got to talk to Spanish people until you just don't like to talk to them. You got to stay with Africans until you just don't care to talk to them. There's nothing romantic about talking to them. It's just other people on it. I talk with people because I like to talk with them. I don't talk with them because they're enamored with me. Okay, Andy Graham talking about how long I lived outside the United States.
Tonight, let's